Tony Rutter, the Acting Director of the National Center for Advancing Translational Sciences, or NCATS. Well, NCATS was created 10 years ago to remove costly and time-consuming bottlenecks in the translational research process. These bottlenecks may be scientific, they may be operational, or they may be administrative. Our driving hope is that we will bring more treatments to more people more quickly. To shorten this timeline, we focus on what is common across diseases, and we take advantage of multiplier effects. We take on translational research projects at any stage of preclinical or clinical development, and we collaborate to advance them along the pipeline. Through our study of translational processes, we can overcome the bottlenecks and can get treatments in the hands of providers and their patients faster. That's translational science. For COVID-19, researchers needed science to move faster than we have, faster than ever before. We needed to carry out basic translational and clinical research, as well as clinical trials and implementation science, all at once. A major speed bump along the way, though, was accessing clinical health data and making those data meaningful, open, and accessible. Electronic health records, or EHRs, they're the largest source of clinical data. But in the US, we don't have a standard way to collect and manage those clinical data. Therefore, there's no standard way to use patient EHRs for research to help make or inform public health decisions using near real-time data. And this is where the National COVID Cohort Collaborative, or N3C, comes in.
My name's Ken Gersing. I'm the Director of Informatics at NCATS Division of Clinical Innovation. One of the most amazing things about N3C is, we can talk about statistics. We have 5 billion rows of data. We have 1 million COVID patient EHR records starting prior to COVID. But what really is amazing about N3C is in the public health world, often data is splintered and it exists in silos all over the country. And what we've been able to do at N3C really for the first time is create a nationwide data set that everybody has been willing to give so we can address this pandemic. In science, you want to know the provenance of data. You want to know everybody who's touched it and every change that's happened to it. But reproducible science is hard because often the methods are just described in words. But in Palantir, we can actually look at the keystroke of each thing that got us from A to B. And so we can just basically print it out, or even more, have another computer pick it up and run the same thing. So reproducibility becomes a push of a button, where before it was almost impossible. It's indispensable in what we're doing.
We often say that N3C wasn't shovel ready. It was ready. It's translational science in action, and it's also inherently NCATsian. NCATS has been working on a solution to make health data shareable and had resources in place that could quickly pivot to build the N3C and its data enclave in a matter of weeks. The modularity and elasticity of the cloud enabled the environment for experimenting in a rapid fashion. We could scale quickly when we needed to. So we leveraged that existing technology to have answers at our fingertips.
And so when the crisis hit, we have many 86 centers who are giving us their data, but they all speak different languages. And so we said to the centers, we can never get you to speak one language. You send us the language you talk in, and N3C will take every one of those languages and we will harmonize all of those languages. And by using Palantir, we were able to put it all in a single repository and have scientists look across these different languages, but they don't even know they're doing it. And so from their point of view, it's one continuous data set. It's really quite amazing. It's all stored in a single repository that's secure, very important because this is electronic health record data. The enclave is actually hosted at NCATS in our cloud, our GovCloud instance, in a Palantir instance where the community comes to use that data set. So we have about 1,000 investigators that are using the data every day. We've clustered people together in what we call domain teams. And a domain team is really a group of investigators interested in a certain aspect of COVID. and they work together to solve problems. And what's really wonderful is that discoveries that are made, or tools that are developed, or algorithms that are used are shared across all of the domain teams. And we call these shareable objects knowledge objects. And so if you think about it, it's almost like a grocery store. You can grab a knowledge object off the shelf and use it. The speed of the science is really accelerated because instead of every time reinventing the wheel, you pick the parts off the shelf that you need to use, you modify them as you want, but they're reusable. So we don't have to keep designing it each time. Lots of people have large data sets, but if you make them into knowledge, or you make them usable to create knowledge, that's the secret sauce. That's what Palantir gives us, that ease of use.
Well, today, the N3C is a secure national resource of real-world electronic health record data from COVID-19 tested patients as well as controls that is speeding COVID-19 research and ultimately improving patient care. We are working with students and researchers from all types of scientific disciplines and teaching them how to use the N3C data enclave to identify and answer critical research questions. The global pandemic created a heightened focus on this work, and we must now consider how to apply this approach to all diseases.